Is it crazy if I held my mic up like this? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Put that down. I don't know when exactly this happened, but a thought recently entered my brain. Have I gotten stupider? And I'm not saying I was necessarily smart to begin with, but I have recently felt a shift in my brain. It sounds like I'm reading off of the script so bad. It's because I am. I'm reading a script. I wrote a script. I have recently felt a shift in my brain. For example, during Christmas, I was playing a card game that required you to go around the table. Everyone picks a card, and there's a card that requires the puller of the card to say a word, and you go around the table and everyone has to rhyme that first word. And every single time when this card came up, I was dreading it because it would come to me and I would be absolutely clueless. I could not rhyme. My brain was empty. I didn't know any words. And that seems like a pretty easy thing that I should be able to do. And I have been able to do in the past. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I think this is something a lot of people are starting to notice, especially people who are around my age, people who grew up without a phone and then got a phone in like high school or towards the end of middle school. And even then, like, it wasn't a smartphone, it was the little push-up keyboard one. And it was strictly for texting, calling your friends, and playing Snake, I guess. I don't know. But I loved that freaking thing. She was gorgeous. She was gorgeous. Ugh. Anyway, take it back to the beginning question. Have I gotten stupider? It is my goal this year to change that. I feel stupid. I want to feel smart. It shouldn't be hard. But first things first, hi, I'm Kenny. If you found this channel, you're probably one of the many people who like watching self-improvement videos every time the new year comes around, and I am one of those people. I'm a little late for this being a New Year's video. It's like the end of January now, but oh well, I digress. I'm the same way. I love those videos. I love the new year. It feels like a reset. It feels like a time where you can figure out what you want to improve, and obviously what I want to improve is my brain. And I'm ready to do that, and what better way to do that and hold myself accountable than to post videos on the internet.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
I also just love editing videos, and I want to become better at editing videos, so this is actually encouraging a hobby of mine, but more on hobbies later. Hey! This video has been in the works for like 2 months now, and I am finally editing it, and I mentioned the new year in the video, and it's like, ugh, but thanks for sticking around anyways. This video truly can be watched whenever. You don't have to watch it in the new year. That's not a problem. I just mentioned it because that is when I wrote the script. And speaking of the script, I am so sorry. I'm so obviously reading a script this whole video. And it's my first video on this channel. So I will get used to it. I will get better. I will get more comfortable. And a lot of my video ideas, I have so many video ideas, do not involve scripts, but if they do, then I will make sure to look at the camera more, so please don't let that throw you off of this video. If you just want to like listen to it in the background, I would really appreciate that. That would be a very kind of you. I've actually already started another video. I don't know if it'll be my next video because it's kind of a long process, and it will not be scripted at all. I am going to be running my first 5K in a few months as someone who has never run in her life. So I have been documenting me starting my running journey. So that will be a video. I think it will be like me training and then the 5K. So there's a ways to go on that video, but I have so many more ideas, and I'm just super excited to get started on them. I hope that posting this first video, because this is the very first video going on the channel, that it will be the momentum I need to start filming and editing and posting consistently, I would love to do at least 2 videos a month. So that is my goal. So I just wanted to pop in here, take a break from editing, and say that even though this first video is late in my own brain schedule, that the channel is in the works. It is happening, and I really hope you stick around and see what I have to offer. Interact any way you can. Say hi in the comments. I would love that. And feel free to give me any constructive criticism if you're gonna be nice. Anyways, let's not leave past Kenny hanging. Take it back to January, I guess. Am I talking too much with my hands? Distracting me. I am someone who would love to live a long life and be able to do things for myself for as long as possible. Basic things, movement, cognitive things, all that stuff. If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. And I don't want to lose it anytime soon. And I have realized recently that I just feel a decline for all that stuff. And I'm not even 30. Something has to change. I'm not an expert in any of the subjects I will be discussing in this video. I'm going to be learning and documenting what I learned and how I learned it. And I'm planning for my videos on this channel to be about a wide variety of topics. Hobbies, lifestyle changes, challenges like 30-day challenges, finance, personal style, and my journey to beat phone addiction, and much more. I have a lot of ideas and I'm very excited. Basically, anything that I'm super interested in, I am down to make a video about it. And I know that's not how YouTube and algorithms work. You're supposed to pick a niche and stick to it, but my niche is learning, and that could involve so many different things. So if anyone is watching this video, thank you so much. You have defeated the odds. So what will we be talking about in this video? I'll be going through some specific struggles that I've been going through recently and where I want to improve. And then I will go over how I'm planning to do that. So if you're interested, let's get into the 3 things that I want to improve. 3 things that made me realize, is my brain rotting? Part 1. Screen time and phone addiction. Let's just say it how it is. It's literally an addiction that so many people have right now. I found this article, Cell Phone Smartphone Addiction Statistics, and it says that approximately 47% of Americans identify themselves as addicted to their phones. I'm not American, I'm Canadian, but I'm sure this is pretty true all around the world where people can easily access smartphones. In the same article, it says that individuals check their phone approximately every 12 minutes, resulting in an estimated 80 to 352 checks per day. That's insane. That's surely the definition of an addiction, doing the same thing over and over again. And I know that I am slightly guilty of this. I have not checked how many times I opened my phone today, but I'm guessing it's quite a bit. So personally, to combat this new year, I set some limits on my social media, on my Instagram and my TikTok. TikTok, I'm giving myself 1 hour to watch TikToks, and on Instagram, 45 minutes. I set the time on my phone's digital wellness app. I have a Google Pixel, so I don't know what it is for Apple users, but I don't really use much else. Instagram and TikTok, those are the 2 big time suckers for me. That has changed. As I said, it is towards the end of January, and I have struggled with some other apps now. These restrictions have not stopped me from being on my phone. If anything, it has made me obsess over some new apps, things that I didn't really care that much about before. The other day, I spent literal hours on Etsy favoriting crochet patterns. In one day, I favorited 119 crochet patterns. And at the time, I had never crocheted in my life. I had no idea how to do it. I had, like 2 weeks ago, I did start it. I started it. I made this headband and a hat for my cat. So, not too shabby. Not too shabby. But I have not bought a single one of those crochet patterns, so, and I think it's over 119 now. Am I gonna crochet all of them? Maybe. I spent hours on Etsy that day. I think it was like 3 hours. Another situation that proves my phone addiction is the New York Times Games incident. Before we get into the New York Times incident, I need to film a disclaimer. I pronounce Sudoku wrong this whole section. I'm going to be talking about Sudoku, and I say it wrong every single time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Just know that I know how to say it. I don't know what was happening here. I truly don't know what was happening here. So I apologize to the Sudoku community, and yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance. But we're learning, we're correcting our mistakes. Okay, on to the video. On to Sudoku talk. In an attempt to get smarter, I thought a great thing for me to do every day is Sudoku, which is on New York Times as well as Wordle, Connections. I've been doing all of it. But when I first got it, I became obsessed with Sudoku. And I think most people have heard that Sudoku helps keep your brain sharp. And I looked it up. According to the article, Does Sudoku Actually Keep Your Brain Young? A study in 2019 in the United Kingdom found that adults aged 50 and older have better attention, reasoning, and memory the more often they play puzzles like Sudoku or crosswords. According to the study, among people who play word number and word puzzles, brain function is equal to 8 years younger than their age when it comes to short-term memory, and 10 years younger when their age when it comes to grammatical reasoning. That's pretty crazy. But some scientists actually believe that puzzles can help you concentrate for a couple hours, but don't seem to have any long-term effects on your brain. This article was actually quite interesting, and I might do a more in-depth video about brain games and why they are not beneficial for your brain. I've linked the article in the description if you're interested in reading it, and any article I mention in this video will be linked below. So Sudoku, New York Times game app, has easy, medium, hard Sudoku options. I quickly realized when I started that I am not good at Sudoku, but now I am also obsessed with becoming good at Sudoku. The first week I played, I spent almost 11 hours on the New York Times game app. Some days I was on it for over 2.5 hours. When I first wrote this script, I had only been playing for like a week and a half, so I have come down from that a little bit, and I have gotten better at Sudoku. I can complete an easy Sudoku in like 6 minutes now, when I first started, it took me like almost 20 minutes. But this is ridiculous. I've just replaced doom scrolling with another activity that still involves me rotting on the couch staring at my phone. So are doing these puzzles actually better for my brain? I looked it up, and it seems like there's actually not a lot of evidence proving that playing these apps do anything to help your brain. The article I found about the topic was actually pretty outdated as well. It was written in 2022 by Harvard Health Publishing, and it doesn't look like there's really been any recent research into the topic. The article titled, "Can Brain Training Smartphone Apps and Computer Games Really Help You Stay Sharp?" So not even exactly what we're talking about, but it works. Says this: based on the information out there, it appears that while computerized brain training programs may help people get better at specific tasks that they practice using each program, the programs don't seem to help them do better on other unrelated tasks or improve their cognitive performance overall. They go on to say that these games are something you should do in moderation and just for fun without the expectation of any positive benefits for your brain health. So, as the Reddit deleted user said in this Reddit post about Sudoku, it helps your brain complete Sudoku. A simple and seemingly accurate response. So glad I spent 11 hours that first week playing Sudoku. That was really helpful for me, I'm sure. Will I stop playing Sudoku? Probably not. It's not nearly as crazy. I'm not spending nearly as much time on the New York Times Games app. But I enjoy it, and I think that's all that matters, right? Anyways, that was screen time. That was the first part. It was the longest one. So let's go on to a different aspect of my life that I've been struggling with recently. Also, let me know if you've experienced similar issues when trying to decrease your screen time or anything else that I bring up. Part 2 is listening. And this struggle, I swear, goes hand in hand with my screen time. I'm not sure how long this has been happening, and I'm sure my partner will tell me when it started to get worse. Because it has started, it got worse for a while, and I think I'm doing better now. But let me paint a picture of how this usually goes. My partner and I will be hanging out on the couch, just vibing, and I will just be doom scrolling. Far, far away, I will hear a murmur. I will hear distant sounds of my loved one. But I will not look up from my phone. I will know she's talking. I will know she's talking. And I cannot be taken away from it. I'm in a trance. I will not comprehend the words that were said. I'm laughing. It's not funny. This is crazy that I do this. It's not until I hear the reasonably annoyed words, something along the lines of, "Oh, don't worry, not like I wasn't talking to you or anything." And I realize, oh my god, I'm so sorry. What did you say? I wasn't listening. I'm so sorry. This happens way more than it should. And I'm usually lucky to be given a second chance and she will repeat herself, but this is crazy. This is like really embarrassing actually. And I've become really aware of it and I'm trying to be better. But even like sometimes I can't even blame my phone for this. I don't know what is going on. But we will be like walking around a store and I'll see something cool and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?" And she'll be like, "I literally just told you. I literally just said that." I'd be like, "What? Like I did not hear you at all. Like what?" But yeah, I still blame my phone for rotting my brain in this way. For not being able to focus. And it's so bad. But I found this article written in 2025 titled "The Vanishing Act of Active Listening: How the Digital Age is Making Us Worse at Listening." And I found this section very interesting. Research has shown that the average person now checks their phone hundreds of times per day. We know this. Often in the middle of conversations, this constant shift in focus not only reduces the quality of our interactions, but also disrupts our ability to be genuinely present for one another. When we are distracted by our phones or the lure of the next notification, we fail to give the speaker the full attention they deserve. Our minds wander, we miss out on subtle cues like tone of voice or body language. And before we know it, the conversation feels shallow and unfulfilling. Active listening requires not just hearing the words, but also picking up on emotions, context, and nuances. Something that's difficult to do when our attention is divided. So it's true, phones are the problem. And obviously, I am part of the problem too, by allowing myself to be so distracted by my phone. Something needs to change, and thank God my partner hasn't left me. This must be so frustrating. Please tell me I'm not alone on this. This is the most embarrassing one. But let's continue. Part 3. Part 3, being in silence. This one's a little different, but it still has to do with the phone addiction, I think. I'm someone who loves to have noise on in the background 24/7, no matter what I'm doing. All right. No matter what I'm doing, it's preferable to have some kind of noise on. if not dark thoughts enter my brain, past trauma, they try to take me down. And I think I should be able to shower without having TikToks on in the background. I should be able to empty my dishwasher without needing to put on a YouTube video. I, if I don't have some sort of digital noise clouding my brain, it's just, my brain just goes like to dark places. I know I'm not alone on this one. Not to get serious here, but this is actually a symptom of ADHD and anxiety. I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD. I do have some symptoms, but nothing. I don't think I have ADHD, but I do have anxiety. So it makes sense. And I was on Lexapro a few years ago, and I don't remember it being this bad when I was on Lexapro. So maybe it worked, and maybe it is anxiety that causes this to happen for me, but I'm no longer taking anything for my anxiety because it's not as bad as it used to be, thankfully. It's just like this one thing that's weird. So what are some ways to combat this without being medicated? In the blog post Discomfort with Silence from the ADDCA, this is the ADD Coach Academy, under the ADHD education section, they challenge you to sit in silence for 30 seconds and ask yourself, how did it make you feel? What did you notice? Where did your mind and thoughts go? What would happen if you extended it to 1 minute of silence? They also talk a bit about meditation and moving meditation as solutions. Link to this article is in the description. This website seems like a good resource for stuff like this. Okay, I just did the 30-second meditation challenge from the ADDCA blog suggestion, and I ended up actually doing, I think it was like a minute and a half, and it was quite easy. So I just want to go through the questions. The first one was, how did it make you feel? At first, I felt like I was just overthinking things, like listening to the house and being like, oh, the heat's on. Oh, there's an airplane flying over me. Oh, I'm feeling kind of hungry, blah, blah, blah. And then towards the end, I was like, oh, hi, Timmy. I was like, oh, maybe this is kind of relaxing. I feel like a little tired, maybe. It is like almost 5 p.m. Okay, Timmy, you hungry? 1 second. He eats up there on a little table so that the other cat doesn't eat his food, but the other cat still eats his food. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I felt. It wasn't that bad, and I was quite relaxed towards the end. What was the second question? What did you notice? Kind of similar things. I noticed planes flying over me. I heard Tim sleeping in the bed. He was like making weird mouth noises. And I noticed that I was hungry. I heard the airplane outside. Did I say that already? Brain rot. Oh, I noticed that I was a little fidgety. My foot was a little fidgety. And the third question, where did your mind and thoughts go? All of these have very similar answers. Hunger. Why am I fidgeting? Where did your mind and thoughts go? What? I feel like I was struggling to not like count in my head, like for exactly how long I was doing that. But I tried to empty my brain. Next question, what would happen if you extended it to 1 minute of silence? I did this. 30 seconds I do not think is enough. But I guess if you're like struggling really bad with something like this, maybe 30 seconds is challenging. But I guess I'm not as far gone as I thought. Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed that. It would be rough if some things that have in the past come into my brain, like past traumas and stuff. If I started going back to that place, I do not think it would have been as nice and relaxing. So that is something to consider if I do decide that I want to try meditating more, which I think I do. I kind of have a video idea for that. It could be cool to try to do it like every day for a month, but I don't know. We'll see. Try this out. See how you feel. Tell me how you feel. That was not that bad for me. So those are like the three main things that came to my head when I thought about what I think was making me stupid. And it all comes back to the phone. It comes back to the phone. So what am I going to do? How am I going to fix my brain and change my ways? I've decided we need a change of scenery, so now we are in my kitchen, and it is present day. I'm going to post the video very soon. It is March 3rd, I think, so hopefully this will be up in a couple days, and I just thought I need to give like an update to the situation. Like, we're trying to learn, we're trying to spend less time on our phone. And I was doing that in January. I was doing very good. My screen time was like under 3 hours every single day, which that's still a lot. I would like to be like under 2 hours, but we gotta slowly work up to that because that is not the case anymore. Yesterday, my screen time was over 5 hours. The day before, it was 6. I feel like it's just been the last couple of weeks where it's been really bad, and I don't know what has changed, but I feel like I cannot be in silence anymore. Like, I was doing so good. And I don't know what happened. I can't do it anymore. Sorry, I'm making tea. The silence is a struggle again. I think it still was a struggle. Maybe I just had like a positive mindset about all the changes I wanted to make and what that life could look like, based on like where I'm at now, which is like quite anxious when it is too quiet. And yeah, that I just had a shower and I had a YouTube video playing during the whole thing. So So I'm hoping that posting this video will get me back on track, and yeah, like even editing the video, I was like, wow, this girl is so full of hope. She's so full of inspiration to be better. And I was doing so much better, but yeah, the screen time is bad. I have stuck with my app time limits, the hour on TikTok, the 45 minutes on Instagram. And instead of going to Instagram and TikTok, like I will make sure I'm like not wasting my time on TikTok or Instagram. Like if I'm like, I just need sound, like I will go and put on YouTube Shorts to not waste my TikTok time. So that's crazy. I've never watched TikTok Shorts in my life, and now I watch them all the time. And it's so embarrassing. I was on New York Times games for 50 minutes yesterday, and like 2 hours on YouTube one of those days, and I just and I keep seeing videos on TikTok because obviously I'm on like this side of the internet who like people who don't want their brain to literally rot. I see people talking about how more people in their 30s and 40s are getting dementia, and that is my absolute worst fear. So and it's the phones, I swear. I tried to look up proof. And I cannot find it. So maybe that's not true, but I found this report. I will show it, but it says in Canada specifically, which is where I am, that there's going to be more people with dementia in 2050 than there is today. Like more, like, and I try to young people too, a rise in young people getting dementia. And I was trying to figure out, like, why is this happening? So I downloaded a report. The report was from alzheimers.ca, and I think it was from 2024. And I was trying to find, because it was saying that more younger people are getting it. I was trying to figure out what is the reason. It was giving like reasons why younger people get early onset dementia, like medical conditions that make it more likely that you will get dementia. So like that makes sense, but I feel like, Timmy, I feel like it's more people, younger people getting it, and maybe it's common and maybe I'm just seeing people experiencing that more because I'm about to turn 30. Maybe this has always been a thing, but it's freaking me out a little. So I definitely want to get back to my goals and being on my phone less, not rotting my brain. Like I have barely read a physical book this year. Yeah. Really? I listen to audiobooks. I've been like crocheting and doing my hobbies and stuff, but still I'm always on my phone still. And it's tough, so I'm going to be more strict with myself about it going forward, because that's what this channel is about, and the channel is starting. If you're watching this, hi. I feel like I'm mostly just like talking to myself, giving myself a pep talk, but yeah. And I'm hoping the videos will be more like this, like just living my life, like a little vlog style, and then we like talk about things. The first video is like more, not formal, but it's not really what I want the channel to be. So I debated completely scrapping this video and like redoing it because I'm like not 100% happy with it, but I want to launch the channel and I want to get going on my other ideas. So I'm gonna post it. I hope it's good, and I hope I haven't repeated myself, because this is like the third time me filming, the third or fourth time of me filming separate things for this video. So let's just get on with it, I guess. Oh, Timmy. He wants the plants. How am I going to become a better listener, be on my phone less, and be okay in silence? Those are the main goals. So what am I gonna do? This is what this channel is about. This is why I wanted to create this channel. I will be going in depth into the following topics in other videos, not right now, but let's discuss some of the things that you can expect on this channel. This is what I will be doing to beat brain rot. This is a lot, and a lot of these things I do already do. It's just things that I want to do more instead of being on my phone, if that makes sense. So first thing is being creative, new hobbies, learning how to crochet. I'm already doing that. Paint by numbers. I did a paint by number, or I'm working on a paint by number already. Video games. I always love playing video games. I should play video games less, honestly. And coloring. I did get some ohuhus recently, so coloring is definitely a big one. These are just relaxing hobbies that will keep me away from my phone. Making sure I am fully understanding what I am consuming, whether it's a book, a TV show, a movie, maybe annotate some books so I'm really understanding what is happening and going more in depth to the plot of the book. And maybe even coming on here, filming a video about some of my favorite shows and movies of the year and why I liked them. Just go that extra step and just to get my brain actively thinking about things. Making videos is also going to keep me away from my phone. I've been filming for half an hour and I haven't looked at my phone once. Anyway, I digress once again. Next point, writing. I wrote the script for this video. I loved creative writing as a kid. I was a Wattpad girly. One of my stories got like 1,000 reads one time, and I've been chasing that high ever since. I do have like a bit of an idea for a fun little like fantasy novel that I would love to write, not to get it published or anything, but just like for fun, for just to be creative. And I think in the age of AI, it's so important to make sure you have like your own voice, especially when you're on the internet. The internet is so crowded with AI garbage nowadays. So yeah, just making sure I keep up with my own voice, if that makes sense. Next is continue with my brain games, my puzzles in a healthy way, perhaps doing more research into what we discussed earlier, and maybe try out some new brain games. I don't know, I'm open to everything. And I got actually a physical Sudoku book, so I don't have to do it on my phone all the time. And yeah, prioritizing a physical format when I can. But I do love my Wordle. I will be sticking with my Wordle. This one's a big one that I want to really push myself to do because I've always struggled with this, but going outside, well, I haven't always struggled with it. I had a dog, then he would force me to go outside, and I do not have my dog anymore. Rest in peace, Doug. So I want to force myself to go outside still, even if there's not a reason to take my dog out to go pee. I can take myself out to get vitamin D. I don't know. Hot girl walks. Exercise to feel good and confident about myself, not necessarily to get skinny. Making sure what I'm eating is good for me and good for my brain. And maybe we'll do more meditation. I don't know. Let's see. We will see. This one is a bit different, not super like getting smarter, but something that I've been thinking about recently is learning more about myself and putting effort into myself. So I've been trying to figure out my style. I feel like every time I look at my closet, I struggle. I don't necessarily like much in my closet, and I feel like I don't look good in anything. So what looks good on my body shape, what kind of clothes would look good on me, maybe figuring out like a hairstyle that would look good on me, and like for my face shape, stuff like that, like stuff that I haven't really thought about that much before, but I have been thinking about recently. But yeah, I want to learn about myself. Again, it's a broad niche. And then last but not least, what we've been kind of talking about this whole time is the main point of this channel is learning, researching, not falling for fake news. I always do that. I'll see a TikTok and I'll be like, did you hear about this? And someone will be like, really? Is that like, where did you hear that? Who said that? Blah, blah, blah. You look it up and it's like, oh, like, that's not freaking real. So I'm sick of doing that. And it's like what I did for this video. I read articles, I learned some new things, and that is just what I want to do more of. And yes, I'm on the internet, I'm searching these things up, but at least I'm not brain rotting on TikTok, you know? I don't know, give and take, give and take. The phones are such a big part of most people's lives. I don't think they're going away anytime soon, but I'm going to try to distance myself if I can. And again, I'm not an expert in any of these. I'm learning. I hope if anyone watches my videos, they learn too. And yeah, it's gonna be slow and steady. We don't want to burn out. I'm excited for this channel, and I wanted to make something kind of quick to like get the ball rolling, you know? I'm excited. One video I think I want to do once a month is what I learned in current month, and I will go over some things that I've done, some of my favorite resources, and things that have helped me learn and to improve in whatever. And also go over some comments if I get like corrections on something, if I make mistakes. I want to make sure I'm getting my facts straight and learning like the true answers to things. So in one of the earlier articles, I found this quote, and I think it's really good for this challenge I'm embarking on with this channel. It says, quote, "Whether you're taking an online course, trying yoga, or even listening to a podcast about a subject you're not familiar with, continuously learning new things can help keep your brain in tip-top shape." And I feel like that perfectly encapsulates what I want to do in this channel. So anyways, again, welcome. I'm Kenny, and this is my first video, if that wasn't obvious. Thank you so much for watching this far. And if you like the video, leave me a comment. Please let me know I'm not alone on some of these things that I want to improve on. Listening, being on your phone all the time, being able to sit in silence. If you struggle with any of those, let me know. Or even if you have any tips on combating any of it, I would love to hear them. One last thing, I have a gaming channel called Kenny Clue, which has nothing to do with my intelligence or lack thereof. It's my gaming diary where I post long-form playthroughs of some of my favorite games, and I used to stream all the time on Twitch, and I would like to get back to it, but we'll see. Anyways, that's how I came up with the channel name, Kenny Gets a Clue. Actually, my partner came up with it. I was gonna go with Kenny Clueless, but she said that that sounds like kind of negative, and Kenny Gets a Clue is like more positive. So I agree, and love her for that suggestion. So I just wanted to give a short little shout out to my channel and explain where this channel got its name. Anyways, thank you so much again for watching. I will hopefully see you in the next one, and don't forget to check the sources in the description if you want to learn more, and keep learning. Bye.